Hello, and thank you for joining me. We are going to be building a linear regression model using just 7 lines of code. Yeah, 7 lines of code. To do this, we are going to pass through the following steps. You are supposed to install some packages, and then you import those packages. You load the data. You split the data set into input and output. The input will be the features, and then you build the model, you fit the model, and finally you predict. For this particular case study, we are going to be using a data that has already been processed. So if you have a data, and you want to apply this video, you need to first process the data. You process the data, removing all columns, doing all forms of processing depending on the kind of data set you are working with. So next, which data sets what are we going to do next? We are going to install packages. For this particular tutorial, you need to install NumPy, you need to install Matplotlib, you need to install Pandas, and you need to install scikit-learn. You can do all this installation on the command line, but if you would like to do the installation using the Jupyter notebook, you just make sure you put this mark in front. I'll just do it to show you. And after you've done this, you can run this cell before you start. I am not going to run this cell now because I already have all these packages installed. After you've installed the packages, congratulations, now you are ready to start. Before you start, the first thing that you're going to do is you need to import those packages that you've installed. You install the package. For NumPy, you import NumPy as NP. If you like, you can be creative and replace the NP, but you just have to import NumPy. You import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT that you're going to use to visualize. You import pandas as PD. That will help to read the data frame. And then to do the modeling regression model, you need to install linear regression, and you need the package for train test splits. So after you've imported this, you just run the cell, and that is it done. And then you go to the next. The next thing that we are going to do, if you want, you can start counting the lines of code now. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to load these data sets. We are loading the data sets using pandas. We use pd.read_csv because the data is a CSV file. So if you click on this, if you run this cell, so that is the data set loaded. If you like, you can confirm by using the data.add function. So I'm just showing you. So that is the data set that we are going to be using. We are going to use the values in X to predict Y. This is not, don't count this as part of the code. I'm just exploring it for you. There are other things you can do, like you can look at the amount of data sets, x.shape. You can see that the data has 100 rows and 2 columns. So you can do different exploratory data analysis as you wish. So the next thing is you split the data into inputs and outputs. So the features are the inputs and the output is your prediction. So you do this by converting the data into NumPy arrays. So this is X and this is Y. And after splitting that into X and Y, you split the data set using the train test splits. This is very important because you split it into training and testing data sets so that you can actually test how your model behaves. So let's run this line now. This is giving error. I think it is giving error because I have put this on this line. It want both to be on the same line. So if I run it now, okay, and that is done. The next we are going to do is we are going to build the model. As I said earlier, we are going to build this model using linear regression. For the sake of this tutorial, we are just going to build a simple linear regression model. So we are not going to adjust, or we just do the normal linear regression. If you want, you can always adjust the parameter, but we are just going to leave it this way. So if you run, and then after building the model, you need to fit the model. So we fit the model by calling the model linear regressor dot fit x and y. So if you run that, so we fit the model, and then we use this model to predict. So we use the dot predicts model of scikit-learn. So if we run that, so that is predicts. Another thing you can as well do is you can check how your model, you can compare your prediction, your x text to your y predicts. Your prediction is y pred, and the data is the test. So you can actually look at how your data perform using matplotlib. This is an extra, it's not part of it. So if you look at it, that is the line that we've generated in this code. So the major thing is, let me count it for you. The first line, we load the data set. This is number 1, and then this line is number 2, number 3. This is the train test split, number 4. This is 5. This is 6. We fit the model, and then let me say this is 7. So you see, linear regression is a very simple model. It's straightforward. I think I can tell you that it is the most used out of all the model, because you use the linear regression model to predict when you need to predict the value. Maybe you need to predict the amount of sales in a particular day, or you need to predict the temperature, you need to predict you need to predict sales, you need to predict costs, you need to predict current, you need to predict the flow rate. You can use it in different areas, and that is when you use the linear regression. So if you have watched this video, thank you for watching. You can subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.